Hey everyone, welcome to Pop XP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the Pop XP channel. Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's the brain of the mainframe here now, Scal with Pop XP for another exciting adventure. And joining me tonight is the most amazing Frank there ever will be, there ever was, and will control our futures. Mr. Frank Amazing. Frank, how are we doing?
I am doing well. It has been really not that long for you and I. I saw you this weekend. So, yeah, you know, it's the middle of the month. And you would think that we would not be busy, but we are. I mean, our schedule is packed. Constantly responding to people's requests, trying to get people in based upon what we have left for this month, pushing over to next month, everything going on. You know, it's
readjusting December, looking at what January can bring. I mean, I have to say, so for those that don't know, the reason he's Frank Amazing is because he keeps this ship afloat. He handles the emails, the scheduling. You know, it's pretty incredible and amazing what Frank does. And man, we have just been bombarded lately, which is great. We love it. Keep doing it. Keep contacting us. Keep sharing your books. You know, we'll get it set. And actually, you know, Billy and I, who unfortunately couldn't be on tonight, he will be on tomorrow night. We're talking like, dude, what are we going to do? This is getting crazy. We can't do a show every night. We'd love to. So we're like, what do we do? So we're like, you know, Peter Simetti does this thing. So we had Peter on last night, and we were like, you know what? We just flat out went, Pete, we're stealing your idea. Just letting you know, we're stealing it. We got to do it. So I think we're going to do something a little, how can I say, like a little 5 and dime, we're going to call it or something. So we'll have 5 creators, 10 minutes each. You know, it gives you about almost an hour just to go over their stuff, so it should be pretty cool. But yeah, man, it's going to be exciting, fun tonight. We've got some awesome creators on. One we've had on previously, and another one that's going to be his first time on the show. And what's cool is these guys have really great all ages comics, and that's what we need. That is what we need. We need to have that point, especially for younger readers. You know, all the mainstream books out there, even some of the indie stuff, it's great, but it's not geared to that age group. And let's ease them in, you know, let's get them loving comics, you know, and then from there they can start exploring as they develop. Because right now there's not much, you know. You got there's an age gap, I feel. There's a big in between that's missing that we need to fill the void on. So without further ado, Frank. Yes, Frank.
And I will say, this is totally not planned. I did not plan to have all ages. It just so happened to be like this, which is kind of cool.
That is cool. That is cool. Definitely. So without further ado, let's introduce our guest. So returning to the show, a great creator, a man who has a really fun book. We've had him on for his issue 1. So everyone, please welcome Greg Schoen back to the show with the Wascals series. Greg, how you doing?
Hey guys, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming back, man. We appreciate it. I'm glad you reached out when the new book was getting ready to hit.
Yeah, of course. This is the show, right? You guys know what it's about. In fact, after the last show, I learned so much more about crowdfunding that we applied it all to this new campaign for the new book.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And I mean, you guys, well, you didn't, when did you launch? It wasn't too long ago, right?
No, I think we're almost 15 days in. We still have 33 or 32 days left on a 45-day campaign. And yeah, we hit our goal. So now it's all just butter for the next campaign for perks. Yeah, it's great.
Fantastic. We got a couple great people in the chat here. And then also tonight, we're going to be chatting with another gentleman that has a really fun book. And I got to tell you, if you're like the fan of, I'm a huge fan of The Tick. And, you know, I got to say, this kind of falls right in line with that. So, everyone, please welcome the first time to Pop XP's Crowdfunding Comics. Please welcome Mark Guano Guy Darden.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on. And that's definitely a very good reference. I'm a huge fan of The Tick. I'm rereading it now, even going back through all the little funny stuff. And it's It's that kind of like ridiculous humor. We're just having fun, nothing too serious. Take a break from the day and read something silly.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. And your campaign's on Kickstarter right now, correct?
Yeah, and we're in like the last 2 days. It's like maybe exactly 48 hours left.
Oh, the grind. And that link is in the description, people. So if you can, please get out there and help share this campaign. Push it on your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, whatever you're using, because it's really cool, and we'll get into it. But what I'd love to do, and Greg, if you don't mind, since this is the first time Mark's been on the show, Mark, tell us a bit about yourself, kind of your origin story. When did you get into comics? What was it like? And then how did you go from, let's say, a fan to a creator?
Yeah, I got into comics when I was a little kid, when they were still being sold regularly in little bookstores, and they'd have a spinner rack. And my parents, they'd go to the grocery store. I'd always beeline for the bookstore and go peruse through stuff. And I was reading little Casper the Friendly Ghost, Richie Rich, the Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck comic books. And then I saw Batman 404, and I knew Batman from the Super Friends and the 60s TV show that was still in reruns. And I picked up the Frank Miller Batman Year One and got something very different. I still thought it was cool, but it was very confusing for a small child. And so I love comics from an early age. A lot of my friends read G.I. Joe comics growing up. And I got into the Marvel stuff because I could get that on the news rack. And I could get some DC stuff from the library, and I read those. And then I was huge into it when Image hit. I was just loved all that stuff. Ended up finding I really liked Valiant too. A few years later, more as an adult, I found I really like this Valiant stuff because it's really well written. And always wanted to create comic books, but didn't see the avenue. Didn't see how to get into it. And when webcomics came up, and you could just make your own thing and do what you want to do your way and not have to curtail it or give it away, that's when I really saw the opportunity there. And I was working at a game company at the time, so I was already producing stuff and gotten used to that. So, and I'd been a writer all through middle school, high school, and even into college. So I just started found an artist that I was simpatico with, and we figured it out together.
So how long have you been creating your own books?
For about 10 years. Did it as a webcomic for a couple years, and then took some time to get the first physical comic done, and shopped around for a while and just didn't find a way to get in. And then I had a couple years off where I was kind of struggling to put it back together after the original artist left because he just had other stuff he had to do. So it took a while to go from being a duo to a one-man band in a sense. But in 2018, I just hit it hard again. It was time to either really get to it or put it down and walk away. So I got real serious in 2018.
Now, for those that are going into the web comic realm, what kind of advice can you give them?
Yeah, I definitely think have a good amount of material already in the bank before you start. So maybe have 16 pages ready to go, especially if you're going to release, say, one a week. If you've got 16 pages that are already sitting in the bank where in case little things happen and come up, you're still going to be able to put a page out consistently. And the format's different, but really just put it out, have fun with it, and keep getting better. And don't let fear of it's not good enough stop you from getting going, because I definitely look back at the first story I ever wrote, and I keep it on my computer. I don't erase it because I want to. Occasionally, it's good to look back and go, "Oh wow, yeah, that was terrible."
It keeps you grounded. It keeps you grounded.
Yeah, and you can look back, and it's kind of like when you hike up a hill and you look down and go, "Oh wow, this is a lot higher than I thought it was." When that story is like the bottom of the hill for me.
Nice. Now, now is making comics a full-time gig for you, or do you have the day job and then the comics are the side gig right now?
Yeah, I work in aviation. And unless something crazy phenomenal happened, I would not give up my job. I lived very lean for about a decade, just struggling to get by. So now that I'm back in a good profession and doing well in it, I'm gonna hold it down.
Nice.
Keep doing it.
There you go.
And, I'll do my writing at night and work with the artist, and maybe as the comic gets better and better, hopefully I can add to the team. I'd like to add some marketing and management help, but yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it and in the part-time unless something phenomenal happens. You know, if Cartoon Network comes calling, then maybe. But other than that, it's going to be the side gig because I love making books, but I'm happy paying rent.
Yeah, right. Making the bills. Now, with Guano Guy, is that your only series, or do you have multiple series?
It is right now the only series. I plan to expand next year. I've got 2 other book concepts, both of which I've got like the first issue written, so I really want to jump forward with one of those. So I'm either going to go from this comedy book that I'm doing, and I'm going to keep doing that one. I'm not going to drop it, but I'm going to expand out into either horror or into fantasy. Those are the 2 things. So they'll be very different, which will be great. You know, there'll be little to no crossover.
Nice. Very cool, man. That's cool, man. Thanks for sharing all that. And Greg, welcome back to the show. If you can you run kind of into, for the viewers out there that aren't familiar with you, your origin story, how you got into making, how you got into comics and everything that led up to actually making comics?
I got bit by the spider, and then no, it's typical, man. I always say I am everybody who ever wanted to make comics. I struggled for a long time. When I was 25, I made a real commitment to myself that I would be published and, writing comics by the time I was 30. I don't think I was published until I was 40, and just constantly pitching to companies and like Mark, making a lot of, bad scripts until figuring out the good ones. Finally, I had a series published. It was originally published by Peter Samedi and Alterna for the first, I think, 3 or 4 issues. And then that was when he was only doing digital, and I didn't want to do that. So we parted ways, and then Arcana Studios published all 6 issues in a book. And then after that, I went to San Diego Comic-Con 2 years ago. It was really cool signing my book and talking to people. And the guy sitting beside me, Kurt Spurging, was this amazing artist, and he was signing and selling his book Goblins. And Kurt and I just made each other laugh pretty much for 2 whole days sitting there, and couldn't have had a better person to experience that with. And on the last day, he said, "Hey man, you want to do something?" And I said, "Yeah, sure," thinking nothing's going to come of it. And like a week later, he sent me a picture of 4 rabbits, and that's where the Rascals took off. And we are now on our 2nd campaign, the Rascals Song of the Banshee Artist Edition, and loving it, loving doing the crowdfunding thing.
Very cool. Now, prior to the Rascals, what else were you working on?
Well, I did the series Raygun, which was a 6-issue series. I really love it. It was done in a very traditional. I write full script. I hired an artist. He did amazing work, and then it got published. And besides that, Rascals has been it. I am working on other things, but Rascals is the focus right now.
Very cool, man. Yeah, I like Rascals. I like the art that you guys do with that. I mean, again, actually, both these books tonight, have incredible art. I love it. Hopefully one day, if it's your goal, they could definitely be, animated features on television.
It is one of our goals for Rascals. That's, it's something. Kurt is a director for Cartoon Network. He directed Tom and Jerry for 5 years. He's worked on huge movies. The guy, if you look at the artwork at Rascals, you just know, okay, this guy obviously knows exactly what he's doing. And that was one of the very first conversations we ever had was, what do we want to do with these characters and this property? And how do we want to move it through a life cycle? And the key there is learning all about crowdfunding and learning how to reach your audience and kind of being true to what the property is, which is fun, bombastic, pop punk energy.
Yeah. Now for you too, is the comic making a full-time gig for you, or is this your part-time and you still got to do your daytime?
Oh no, yeah, I work in Tokyo as a headhunter for the video game industry. That's my
cool.
that's my main gig. And to be honest, after COVID, my life's completely changed. I work from home, and the rest of the time really is working on Rascals and other creative projects. I'm living my best life right now, man.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, by like working at home, do you have your Rascals space and your workspace, or is that all one?
I'm looking at all that right now. This one little computer is it. But for my day job, really, it's all about just contacting people and finding good fits at a studio. And it's rad because I love video games and I love creative people. So talking to programmers or directors or animators or VFX artists or CG artists or AI, programmers, it's just one cool conversation after the other, and then trying to introduce them to my client studios in a way where they see what I see.
How do you come across these talented creators for the video game industry?
A lot of it now is referrals, to be honest. When it starts, it's headhunting. It's trying to make connections and trying to reach out to people and say, hey, listen, I know you're doing this at X studio. Do you want to do it somewhere else? And learning how to kind of present your clients in the best light. So, the studios that I work with are either second party studios co-developing games with AAA studios or AAA studios. So it's quite easy to, the people I'm talking to already know the studio. It really is only two types of people you're talking to. You're either talking to people who chase technology and they want to get their name on a project that is they're going to be able to pay forward really and say, I helped develop this engine or something. Or people who chase IP, who want to work on a Final Fantasy or a Tekken or something like that so that they can move to a next game at another studio and make a higher salary and just say, hey, listen, yeah.
That's cool, man. That's neat. Did you ever get into like the actual development of games, or was it really just the headhunting thing?
Just the headhunting thing. And you want to know the crazy thing? I love video games. Like I since I was a little kid, I love video games. It really helps. It's amazing how many people will contact the people who work in these industries and not know anything about video games.
Yeah.
And these people who make these games can see right through them. But when I come, I'm just all energy. It's like, dude, you made this for this game. I love that game. This level was fantastic. And they go, oh, this guy knows what I do. So yeah, like I said, it's just really fun. And cool. I really like talking to those people.
Nice. And Mark, you say you were at one point in the gaming industry?
Yeah, different gaming industry. I was working in card games. Because I wanted to get into comic books, and I thought I can't figure that path out, but I think I can get into games, and then maybe producing games or helping create games, maybe that'll get me an entry to comic books.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Called a whole lot of phone numbers until somebody said yes.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. But let's dive into it. Let's dive into your campaigns. Let's check out the Rascals. So we'll bring this up here. All right, boom. All right, the Rascals, Song of the Banshee Artists Edition, and you've made your goal. You're at you had a goal of $760, and now you're currently at $806. You have 39 backers. You still have 32 days left to go. So you're rocking and rolling.
Couldn't be happier.
So what we'll do is first we'll start off. We'll play the video. There's been some issues with StreamYards with video lately, so we'll play it, and hopefully the volume will be good. But we'll check out the Rascals video. Nice. Animation this time.
I know.
What?
It's crazy.
What? That's incredible.
Yeah.
That is okay. Look, you see I was watching a Lon Chaney Shall Not Die documentary. People don't realize you got a sneak peek of what I was watching.
Who did your animation?
Kurt. He's a professional animator. He says that in the future, the next campaign, it'll be much better.
Mm-hmm. That's cool, man. No, the art looks great. So tell us a bit. So tell us where we were in issue 1, and is this all ties in with issue 2, or is this its own separate storyline?
Okay. So first of all, say that this is the artist edition of book 2. So what we're doing with book 2 is giving you a behind-the-scenes look at how we actually make it. So it contains all of Kurt's original line work, and it will have at the back of the book 2 pages showing first a segment of the short story. We do the book in Marvel style. There's no full script. I just write a good story, and Kurt interprets that into a comic book. Then I go back and I add the dialogue, and then Kurt adds the lettering and the colors. So it's a very collaborative process of how we make it. And it's something that in book 1, which you can also get on this campaign if you want to catch up, we tried to explain to people, but I just think it makes such a special product that we kind of wanted to show them. This artist edition is limited to 100 copies, and you will get the book, which I think is going to be 40 pages. You're going to get 5 stickers, including 2 new ones that we have, which I think are very cool. They're kind of there we go. They're kind of comic album cover influenced.
Yeah.
And then the 3 original that we had, and a random sketch card with an interior cover sketch as well. So you can see there, that's all of Kurt's original line work. The story is the Rascals are going to Ireland. They've been invited to play at a festival, and they're super excited because they are finally getting to go international. The lead singer Tony is very excited because people finally get to see him, even though it's a group. And unfortunately, the mysterious Banshee is for some reason attacking the town, and the Rascals, due to the curse they received in issue 1, have to deal with the problem if they want to play at the festival.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
This is crazy. Like, just watching your video, it looks like, I mean, that was like an intro for the cartoon, like seriously. Yeah. And you get that vibe of like Scooby-Doo, or Josie and the Pussycats, like that kind of stuff. Yeah. Like I'm waiting for like the Harlem Globetrotters to show up.
Yeah,
TJ James even says that, Frank. Hey, anyone out there remember the good old days of every Saturday morning cartoon having the characters be in a band and sing a song about the lesson of the episode?
TJ, you're right on point, man. Like I mentioned before, we stated goals, what we wanted to do when we started this. And one of them was we always wanted it to be consistent. So one of the things that we managed to do, and that we're going to do in this campaign as well, is we're going to be consistent with quality. So the book itself is very high quality. We use the best paper for the cover, for the interior artwork. It's not a flimsy product. The sketches that are done by hand by Kurt. The stickers are good. We wanted to make a great product. Our goal is, we want these on coffee tables everywhere. Yeah. Just sitting around that parents and kids can pick up and enjoy equally. Another thing that we made a commitment for is fulfillment. And we're really, really proud that we were able to fulfill within 30 days of closing our last campaign. And for this, and for this campaign, we close in November 15th, and we're hoping that we can get, well, we're going to ship within the next couple weeks after we close, but we're hoping to get everybody their books by Christmas in North America. It would be a really great thing, I think, for people, you know, on their winter break, sitting around, drinking their eggnog or whatever, and just having Rascals hanging around at that time. That's kind of our goal. And like I mentioned before, a commitment to the Rascals. So the Rascals are fun. The Rascals are, you know, family friendly, and they're bombastic and punk. So that's what the Rascals are. And we really want to maintain that consistency throughout the series. Another goal is when it comes to crowdfunding, and I got to thank you guys. I mean, on the last show, I learned so much. You know, we set our we did the rookie thing. We set our target too high, right? We didn't hit our goal. Then we couldn't go in demand, and then we couldn't get higher up on the. It was all just this huge learning. But I think if you look at the campaign now, it's basically original McDonald's. Yeah. There's basically cheeseburgers and hamburgers right now. You can get this limited edition, or you can get number one, and we keep adding on actually hand drawn ink sketches, one-offs that we're running through the campaign now, and those are done by Kurt. They're 7 by 10.5 inches, perfect for framing, and that's another thing that we're adding on to this campaign. But it's lean, it's mean. We want to get Rascals in people's hands. There's one of the drawings. I love it. That's Rosie jamming out.
Did you guys just give the first issue in the campaign here?
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I just scrolled through the whole first issue.
It's almost the whole.
Or almost the full? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's almost the whole thing. You know, with the first issue, we wanted people to have it. Our goal is not to make a gajillion dollars off of these comics. We like making the comics. The Rascals are a comic book first, and whatever else it transmutes into later, that's what they're going to become. But they are a comic book series. So, you know, we're doing this just to get it out there. And when people think about, you know, family-friendly, bombastic, energy, fun comics in a crowdfunding space, we want them to think Rascals. It's just going to come in the mind. The logo, everything has been crafted in a way where people are going to see a similarity to something that they love. They're going to want it for their families, and it's going to become just like everybody just keeps saying, Josie and the Pussycats, Richie Rich, Archie, all of these things that we all know. Captain Carrot. Everybody had a Captain Carrot, you know, lying around. Everybody's brother was reading it. That's what we want Rascals to be. And then if later on it can become that cartoon that parents let their kids watch because there's a cool song while they're making dinner, happy campers. Kurt and I have succeeded.
Cool, man. Cool. So this campaign... Yep.
I feel like we're stealing from you. I mean, you're talking 2 books, stickers.
Yep.
Cards.
One book. So we're selling the book separately. Yeah. But each book comes with the stickers and the sketch cards.
Right. I mean, you're talking, you know, 15 Canadian dollars or 11 US dollars.
Yeah. We want to make it. I mean, especially now. We want to put it in people's hands. We want people to be enjoying the series and creating that viral energy. And more than that is enjoying the Rascals and knowing what the Rascals are about and associating them with punk, fun, humor, funny, cute, everything that they are. We want people to enjoy just as much as we're enjoying it. So, you know, there's no lifestyle bid here. You know, Kurt works as a director in the animation industry. I'm having fun working in my creative field. We both love making the comics as well as we can. And it's our goal probably every quarter to have a Rascals coming out. You know, if we can do this 4 times a year at this level of quality for these price points, and then start adding things like, if you look at the cover for book 2, it's just a little down, that's going to be the poster that we offer for the book 2 proper. You know, look at that thing. Can you not imagine that picture on some kid's wall or some university student's wall? It just screams it. So we're trying to do it so people can enjoy it. We really, really hope people jump in and understand that you are getting a bargain. You are getting the best quality book that we can give to you at the lowest price that we can give it to you, so that you can enjoy it and experience the Rascals.
That's great, man.
Now, because of the price point being so where it's at, you know, can people buy multiple copies of the book?
Yeah, I think they can. I think they can buy multiples. That's fine. But one thing that we're learning, and I think this whole thing that's developing now, you know, coming from the big boys like the Van Skyvers and the Mallons and all of that, is why not have retailer packages? Why not start looking at the shipping costs and the weights of everything and realizing that you can sell a store 10 books, and if your book is good enough, it's going to move. But first you have to generate that heat here in this market, and you have to sell a whole bunch of them for those retailers to realize, I don't have to go through another distributor. I can buy directly from the creators, and we can all immediately benefit. And to be honest, I think that's probably the future. I think that's probably what's going to happen, because, you know, these print runs are pretty affordable.
It's affordable to make a comic, especially nowadays. And even when you look at like things like, you know, I don't know what people use, but let's look at an example like Adobe. For $20 a month, they give you the whole suite, right? So like any software you want to do whatever you want to do is there. I mean, printers and stuff. I mean, what large format printers things to get, you know, some things ready. You know, iPads, Surfaces, all these devices. Like you can buy these devices that you can do so much on, that you can literally make your entire comic book on an iPad Pro. You actually can. You can script it, letter it, draw, color, everything on an iPad Pro. I mean, it's incredible what you can do these days. And the way networking is and the way technology is, like, it's not that FedEx office anymore. You're not going to the Kinkos to send things to, you know, mainstream. It's really, the indie scene is incredible right now.
It's the inception factor of the technology. So once people get comfortable ordering from Indiegogo or Kickstarter, and that becomes a source that they look to instead of looking online, or, you know, the thing that I'm really big about is that retailer package, because I don't want comic shops to go out of business. I think that is still something that we need to maintain, but I think we can support them better by making a really good product and having them sell it. And their markup can be a lot higher too. So, you know, we just have to make sure that we make products good enough to sell.
Exactly. Well, that's cool, man. We'll see what the future holds with that. And you know, and for those out there that are curious, I mean, is there anywhere you can purchase the first issue?
This is it right here. You can get the first issue on this campaign.
Okay, but there's nowhere else they can get it.
Nope.
Digital and or in print. Okay, so if they want the first issue, you can purchase it during this campaign, and then you can have issues 1 and 2. Yeah,
and we're down to only about I guess 60 books, 70 books left. So just want to make the point, this is a limited edition. There's only 100 of these ever that are going to be around. So if you want to take a really good look at the Rascals and how we're actually making this, this is for you. And it's got the full story, but this is a different thing.
Very cool, man. Well, you hear it, everyone. I mean, get it. This is the artist edition. You're getting a lot for a little cost. So check this out. And please, you know, again, with this book as well, I mean, if you can back it, great. You know, if it's something you want to get, you know, the holiday season's coming. If you got little ones in the family, or you just want a fun all-age book that can entertain children from adults, I mean, please back it, share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you can do. Let's continue to grow the indie community, because it's incredible what's being put out there. And having creators like this who are doing, you know, books generated to different audiences is fantastic, because it's just expanding the volume of work that's out there, right? And bringing in the younger readers, you know, because they're making comic books for us, these older, aging people. You know, they're just we got to get, you know, our kids and everyone involved, you know. So that's fantastic. And Greg, this is awesome, man. I love the first one. Looking forward to seeing what you're bringing with this second issue, man.
Thank you.
And Greg, so hopefully you'll hang out with us. And now we're going to kick on over to check out the Guano Guy, issue 3. So we'll do the same, Mark. We're going to play the video, and we'll check out your campaign here.
All right, sounds good.
If it will play, okay.
There we go. There we go.
Boom! The Guano Guy is back with issue number 3. Oh, I'm Mark Darden, and we're here with a 29-page full-color, comedy-filled, hilarity book. Been working all night getting the final touches together. Now, obviously, this is a really cool cover by Tony Fierro. Really fun cover by Ryan English. Colors coming. And we've got 5 different art teams with a variety of very fun, very colorful styles. This book is for kids and adults. It's just lots of fun. If you've been here before, you know what we're doing. But if you haven't, if you like The Tick, Darkwing Duck, maybe the Venture Brothers, the old Batman TV show, this is the book. This is the thing for you. It's going to be tons of fun. Please help us out. We just love making books and bringing some lighthearted entertainment to the world. I'm Mark Darden, and thank you very much for checking us out.
Quick and to the point.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. So I got to tell you, Mark, I mean, you know, you're talking The Tick, you're talking Darkwing Duck, and you're talking, you know, some great stuff here. Great stuff. I need to know, man. I need to know what this is all about.
Yeah.
What is Guano Guy? Because this campaign is issue 3 plus all 6 other Guano Guy comics.
Right. Keep it confusing.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the Guano Guy, it started out as like a Batman spoof, and I was just really having fun spoofing on comics themselves, story tropes, and just having fun with it. And then over time, character grew into his own thing and started having a story of his own to be told. And the Guano Guys, it's like Seinfeld with superpowers. Like, there's just a cast of jerks who don't know they're jerks. And so he's trying to be famous as a superhero, but he doesn't actually really care about the saving people part. That's not what he's doing. So we just have ridiculous adventures. He battles the most ridiculous villains in the most ridiculous ways. In issue 1, he was stopping gangs by siphoning the gas out of their car. Or you know, they couldn't go anywhere. Problem solved.
And what about issue 2 and 3? In 2, you can't get into 3 though, actually, because this is what the campaign's for.
Yeah, man. Issue 2. That was a good issue. 40 pages. Had a good 6 stories in it. Had 5 short stories plus a 20-page full-length story that continued the actual chronological story. But then I like to keep writing these short stories too, because they're fun little bits that I'll tell in 3-4 pages, give you a whole lot more bang for your buck, because I got to start and finish real quick. So yeah, issue 2, we had zombies complaining about superheroes. We explained what happens to you after you pass away and how random it is. Death's just going to show up with a dice and see what happens. And the current one, Guano Guy is battling ridiculous villains in stupid ways, but then we're sending bears into space without training. We got Eggman trying to give financial advice. And if you're a superhero who's not good at quips, we got an agency that'll write them and send them to you for you so that you don't look bad when you're in a battle. You know, you need the one-liners, just pay a monthly fee.
Nice, man. Now, going through your campaign, it looks like you got you've had many different artists working on this series.
So there's a main team that does the main story every issue, and then I keep getting just fun, really, really talented artists who pop in and will do a few pages to do a short story. So that's you're getting a smorgasbord of styles, and you really get an anthology feel with a lot of different pretty and different art styles. So yeah, I really like doing it that way. It's a lot of fun. You get a lot of bang that way. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. And I noticed that when I was going through your campaign when Frank first brought it to our attention and we were going through it. And I was like, oh wow, this has a bunch of different neat styles and stuff. And then actually too, and Geek Girl, what's the affiliation with that?
Yeah, so sometimes comics will let you get in the comic. But I knew Sam, I'd back some of his stuff, and I was like, well, I don't really care if I'm in the comic, but it'd be awesome if Guano Guy was in the comic. And
nice.
And he took it and ran with it. Next thing I know, he's like, hey, I got this part your character's gonna play in it, and he sent me that script. I'm like, yeah, that all seems like exactly what Guano Guy would do. Hero starts save the day for free, so he rolls out like, well, nothing left to do here. I'm not gonna go back home, try and make some money.
Yeah.
So it was really fortunate. Guano Guy and Mr. Marvelous Man ended up in a couple of issues, and they had a nice little part in it, and it was a lot of fun. I look forward to doing something more. We're gonna try and get Geek Girl over in Guano Guy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm a fan of Sam's stuff there. You know, I've been following Geek Girl for a couple of years now. It's cool. It is a fun book, and I gotta say, when you got some interesting packages here as far as like everything they're getting. I mean, you've got prints, you've got comics, you've got the back issues. Tell me a little bit though, because so now for your comics, just to get an understanding, so the back issues listed here, you've got a 0, a half, a 1, a 1.5, a 2, and a number 2 alternate. Now, are your strictly 1 and 2 like a full comic, and then are the other issues your kind of like your in-betweeners, those smaller stories you were talking about?
So initially it was all short stories, and as just a kid of the 90s, I decided to do some fun oddball numbering. So I had the 0 and the 1/2 and 1.5, and then when I did the full-length issue, it became issue 1. But then I really needed to do a search and find the new artist, so I did another I did a 2.5 is actually a 40-page full of short stories, but Alexander Umlin, he ended up doing half of it, and by story 3, I was blown away with what he was turning in, and I got the first page of story number 3, and that we went forward. He was doing his own comic before he and I touched base and started following each other's stuff, and luckily he agreed to come on and be the artist of this comic, and we've been the partnership's just been growing. He's already drawing issue number 4, so that's cool. It's going to be coming together for next year.
Nice. How many issues are you? Do you actually like? Is there an ending, or is this just going on until you're ready?
So when I started brainstorming on the main story, I got to issue 8 or 9 writing. So I've still got a bunch of them in the bank that I want to get done. And if I don't have new stuff by then, then there's a different comedy series. The Guano Guy takes place inside of a bubble, inside of a literal city dome. And outside that dome, there's superheroes everywhere. And I have a story for that as well. So when the Guano Guy ends, we'll move on to what's going on outside the dome. Or maybe we'll run them concurrently. I'm not sure, but we're just going to see how it goes.
That's a neat concept. I like that, being in a dome and there's other superheroes outside of that dome, and then you have Guano Guy inside the dome.
Yeah, right. Well, that was his chance, you know. Oh, they got rid of all the people with powers? Well, let's go out there.
Yeah. So, give us what... I know you said he's kind of like a Batman spoof, and you kind of went in, but I mean, like, what can we expect with the stories? I mean, what are we looking at? Can you give us like a synopsis? Who is he? Does he have a secret identity? Does he have a day life? Let us get to know Guano Guy.
Sure. I mean, it's really so much like a sitcom where there's a cast of characters, but you don't really have to know them that well. Like, you could pop in on any episode and you just you'll get the vibe of their personalities, and they're doing ridiculous stuff. And the comic, what it's really about is just fun. It's just, I throw him into ridiculous situations, and we see the fun way that he solves it. The current issue number 3, there's a puppeteer who is not happy. And so he attacks his old theme park, and what does Guano Guy do? Get his own stage of puppets to go to battle. Because he got insulted in the previous comic about not using a mime's love of miming against the mime. So he's like, well, then I'll fight puppets with puppets. But it's a bit dark because the puppets are all homages to his former sidekicks, all of whom he abandoned in bad situations.
jeez.
So
I'm really intrigued with this.
There's layers of ridiculousness.
Yeah. Is there now? Can you get this book outside of these campaigns? Like, are they digital? Do you have Comixology, your own website? How can people start getting into this if this is all completely new to them?
Yeah. They used to be I was doing a lot of shows, and they were available in a lot of stores around Florida, Georgia. Right now, the campaigns are really the way to get them. I am talking with a guy, and hopefully very soon I'm going to be in an independent comic catalog, and so that hopefully that'll start getting it into a lot more stores. Because when I originally got it in the stores, it was me walking into each one of those stores and talking for an hour. And I had it in 10 plus stores in a couple states around my area, but hopefully I can get a bigger distribution going, because I'd love to get it in more people's hands. I love my book. I read it myself, even after I've read it so many times to make it. I still love to sit down and look at it. And that's cool. I hope a lot of other people will too. And I just feel like I just got to get it in front of enough eyes. I truly, I actually got a picture from one of the artists that she did the side story where the bears went into space, and she was doing an art show, but she had a poster up for the current Kickstarter with Guano Guy, and somebody walked by the table and was like, "Oh my gosh, my son loves the Guano Guy. He's reading it all the time," and got a picture of them standing next to the poster and sent it to me, which was
that's cool.
That's awesome.
That's neat. That's neat when like your character, your story is spreading. I mean, that's got to be some of the best parts. Now, you were saying too, Greg, going to San Diego, you're signing books, right? People that are it's a big deal. Your work.
It's a big deal, and it got to the point where Kurt and I, when somebody came to the table, Kurt would go, "He's going to buy your book. That kid's going to get your book. Watch." And then they would be looking at Kurt's work and my work, and sure enough, we could just start pegging. "Oh yeah, I didn't know this. She's going to get your book. She's going to get your book," and talking to them, and refining the ability to talk about your work, and to kind of not pitch it, but actually, show somebody your book and show them the beats that you think are most exciting. It's a real huge experience, and you can tell those people, whenever you even read interviews from guys like, I don't know, like Kieran Gillen or Grant Morrison or something. They've done that so many times. They've done that so many times at so many shows that they can explain their work and they can pitch their work and they can get you hyped for it in a second. It's a great experience.
That's cool. Right?
Now, Mark, what shows were you doing to promote Guano Guy?
Yeah, I did just a host of shows across Florida. I went back to aviation school, and that's when I don't know, maybe crazy and maybe just, I don't know, motivated, but decided at that time to really launch the book and was working with artists. So I'm trying to get myself through aviation school while also getting books printed and going to shows. And I would do a show every month, mostly in Florida, but some up in Georgia. The biggest one I did was MegaCon, but I would caution, as somebody that's been doing this a while, the small to mid-level shows were really so much better for me. I found the big shows that I did, it really, it just wasn't for me yet.
Yeah.
But the mid-levels, those are the great shows where people really are there to connect and see new things, and it's not too big. And I like those a lot. There's a lot of fun to attend and to table at.
Now, let me ask you. So, I know you consider your book more, an all ages type book, and but what is I know with all ages book there is a target. Where would you say the range is for most readers for Guano Guy?
Yeah, so I know a lot of adults get it's written kind of like a Disney movie where there's going to be that humor that the adults see it and they get the bigger picture or what I'm hinting at. And then there's going to be the silly stuff that the kids love, where it's just fun and cartoony looking. So it works like that. I think it's a great book for kids too, because even though I make it safe, it's safe for kids. We keep cussing out. It's not about gore. Yeah. It's a fun book, but it doesn't lower the bar. I don't try to simplify the writing. I want the writing to be fun, and then when they get to something they don't understand, I want them to want to look that up or to go to mom or dad and be like, "Hey, what what is this? And expand the vocabulary and expand their reading level, but safely.
Yeah. Nice, that's cool. It's like Animaniacs or something. Remember those good old cartoons from the 90s?
Yep.
I sure do.
You enjoyed them as a kid. You can even watch them now.
Yeah.
It's just funny though when you get like Bill Clinton and stuff and like all the politicians and stuff and celebrities from that time, and it's like you get it. Like my kids will never get that. I'm gonna make them watch it though. You know,
they're gonna feed every minute of it.
Yeah, but no, that's cool, man. You guys both, man. You guys have some great books here. I love how original your stuff is. Seriously, you know, the Rascals, Guano Guy. I mean, what does Guano Guy mean? What does the name mean?
Yeah, because I mean, guano is poo. It's generally bat poo, and guy is a lot more casual than the average hero. They're always man or Mister. So I really wanted it. It started as a spoof, and I wanted it to be a fun, silly name. And most people, I think, usually see it and giggle, and I'm like, all right, awesome. That's someone that I should tell about the book. Occasionally someone thinks there's something else going on in this book that is not. And I try to reassure them there's nothing. There's nothing weird going on.
Yeah. It's funny. I wanted to ask that because, like, obviously Guano, right? So I'm like, oh, so he's like a shitty guy. You know? That's not all ages, Niall. Come on. But I was like, oh, I wonder if it has a different meaning for him. No, but that's cool. I like that. That's neat, man. So what's after this? You're gonna head into issue 4?
Yeah, issue 4 is already in the works. A couple covers are getting made. The artist is already working away on the main story. I've got a few people enlisted for short stories, and hopefully, because I was working 6 days a week during this Kickstarter and up to it, so I think that slowed me down on trying to develop the next project, but I really want to get either the horror or the fantasy book going as well, so that I have a little more diversity. And Guano Guy I see is like 2 issues a year. I think it's great if I do an issue every 6 months with 40 pages. But in between that, it'd be great to launch something else and keep it going.
Now, actually, this is a question for both of you. Now, if you guys go into another story or something else you want to be doing, or maybe you're currently working on it, is that really geared all ages, or is your next project now focused, on an older audience?
The thing I'm working on now is called The Barnes, and it's a science fiction story that runs from 1927 to 2027, and it is very adult. It is a very not all ages book. It's a very action-packed, really gory, lo-fi science fiction thing. So I get the all ages thing out through the Rascals, and when I have time, which is very limited, I'll type away on the Barnes. I've got 2 scripts done, fully done, and when I get to 12, that's when I'll start thinking about getting it out there. Nice.
And Mark, yourself?
Yeah, when I do the horror book, it's gonna be like a slasher film, but for children. No.
You see Saw? You remember Saw? Yeah, it's gonna be like that for kids.
It's gonna be like that, but totally.
There'll totally be tricycles in it.
Yeah.
More trikes.
Yeah.
They're trapped in a ball pit.
Yeah. Trapped in a ball pit. They just keep adding more balls.
Yeah, when I do the horror book, it'll only be for adults. It won't be. I don't think it'll be so violent that teens couldn't read it, but it wouldn't be for kids. But I also just don't think it would be the entertainment that they would want, because it's going to be more adult themes, and adult not meaning adult situations, but adult meaning like just more higher level social themes that really only adults have gone through. I don't really see why a kid's going to want to sit around and read about loss. It's more relatable as an adult. Struggling through life challenges is more relatable as an adult.
Cool, man.
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with those projects, guys.
What's that?
I said good luck with those future projects you guys have. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing, your guys' range, heading in different directions with stuff.
Well, you can also check out my first book. It's on Comixology. It's called Ray Gun. It's about a 10-year-old named Matthew Baker who finds Nikola Tesla's death ray.
Oh, God damn it, Greg. You're always one-upping us. It's like, oh, well, if that's the case, here's my other books, you losers. What? Greg? Come on.
Yeah, it's on Comixology.
Nice. Oh, so that's okay. Cool. So we'll check that out. We'll get the link to that into the description of the show for anyone that wants to check that out. And anything else, if you guys have any websites or anything, we can add those in. But yeah, everyone, we had two great campaigns tonight. Guano Guy number 3, currently with 52 hours to go. You have reached your goal. But hey, spread the word. You can do a lot in 2 days.
2 days.
Spread the word and see where you can go. More the better. And don't forget to head on over to Indiegogo, the Rascal Song of the Banshee Artist Edition. 32 days left. So take your time. No, I'm joking. Get out there and share it. Share it. And what do we have here? What is this?
Yeah, I'm trying to give these prints away. So if we could get another 450 in the next couple days, I'd be giving away a copy of this print to everybody that had a physical, and I'll send a PDF to all the people that got PDFs.
Oh, fantastic. That's awesome. I like that. That's actually such a really cool print too. I like that style. It almost has like that 70s underground comic look.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
With that inking style. That's coming back. We were talking about that last night. There's so many books with this style, that style coming out, and it's just fantastic. So, yeah, Frank.
Mark, when is your campaign, when it ends, when are you looking to ship stuff out?
Yeah, so I've got a good turnaround time with the printer that I work through. So I will be shipping stuff out end of October time frame. I said people would get their books in November. That's when they're going to get them. So
nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I will be checking these out myself, and you'll probably see my name on your backer lists, so I can get my copy, because it looks cool, man. Both of these look cool. I love it. I freaking love it. So, yeah, guys, get out there, help spread the word for these awesome guys, Mark and Greg, the Rascals, and Guano Guy 3. And, Greg, how can viewers and your future fans, current fans, how can they keep track of what you're doing?
There's a Rascals official Twitter account. There's my Twitter account, comic scriptwriter Greg Schoen, and I have a YouTube channel where I discuss making comics, writing for comics, critiquing some comics, and that's called Comic Scriptwriting with Greg Schoen.
And guess what? During this episode, Greg wrote a new comic. So.
Damn you, Greg.
I know. One-upped us again.
You freaking one-upped us again. Mark, what about yourself?
Yeah, find me on Facebook if you want to follow me, Mark Darden on Facebook, or if you just want to follow the Guano Guy and stay up to date on the projects and the funny releases, because I also do a lot of reading videos. I read parts of stories in character voice and throw those up. So those are generally pretty fun. And I'm getting better with the videos, so now they're going along with the panels and effects and music and stuff. So those are fun. So follow the Guano Guy on Facebook, just at the Guano Guy.
All right, cool. Now, did you say you were on Instagram?
I have an Instagram account. Yeah. Also, Guano Guy.
Guano Guy, fantastic.
That's
awesome.
pretty easy. Yeah.
That is easy. But good luck with you, everything, guys. I appreciate it. And once you come on the show, I mean, you're open. Come on anytime you guys want. If you got another project coming up, you want to promote something.
Thank you so much.
Know someone that wants to promote something, or even just want to hang out. Seriously, if you're just like, hey, I'd love to join the stream tonight, just shoot a quick DM to myself, Frank, Billy, Blevins, any of us, and we'll be happy to have you on.
That's really cool. Thanks.
Yeah, man. So, I know we got a bit of a time difference, but I guess if you have a slow morning, Greg,
I work at home now, so there is no slow or fast. It's all good.
There you go. But yeah, so thank you guys for coming on the show. And then everyone, tomorrow night we'll be wrapping up the week. We'll be having Neander Schaefer on with his book Seasons on Kickstarter right now. And we'll have returning guest Michael Oden on for the second installment of his series, Elysian Fields. So check that out tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much to the chat. As always, thank you to our fantastic moderators, TJ and Heroinberg. You guys rock. And everyone else that's been in the chat. It was great to see a Critical Blast. And what's the other names? Oh, anyways, thank you, everybody.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yes. All right, guys, have yourselves a great night, and thank you so much for joining us. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on Pop XP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the Pop XP and over on Instagram at the Pop XP. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you soon.